these trips, I had to go and get a passport. I'm just trying to live, I don't know what these mad for. I just signed a deal and got a really big bag for it. Still at your mama crib, ain't getting money, you gotta ask for it. I got tired of complaining, I got up and changed my situation. Looking at the view outside, I thought I would never make it. Every day they take, but that don't stop the money making. If you want it, go and take it, ain't no point in hesitating. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind.
Going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm
P-P-P-Love, time to bring the bass bird.
Swear I'm going big like a lineman. She want bring the limes in. She wanna pull up to the crib, we can't dine in. Up right away, couldn't even get a vine in. Straight with the money we aligned in. Tell me how they broke, tryna chime in. Jesus watching over here in diamonds. He the only reason why do not get violent. Ay, cause he gave me patience. Ay, swear that don't make sense. Ay, when you making bands can make friends. Cause I know they tryna shit like Ray Bans. Got a bad little shorty wasting. And I own it, I ain't gotta pay rent. Ay, I know we the ones that ain't them. Pull both hands together and I'm saying amen. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going bigger. Postmates how I deliver. My game too cold, made it shiver. But I'm still a hot boy, cool it down, let it simmer. Ay, see him mad, got him bitter. Can't stop the shine with a dimmer. Only what I give her, and she let her call me baby, but I do not need a sitter. See me dip, yeah, I'm saucing. People at the bank see me often. Let the money run, it's a faucet. She gave me the that's a boss is. Took over the game, now we all in. I was down in the chips, then went all in. Throwing up the game, ain't no vomit. Make my mama stop working, that's the promise. Going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm
P-P-P-Love, time to bring the bass bird.
Yeah, I just ran a checkup on myself. Some days I just have to check up on myself. I'm so icy, got that GG on my belt. Thank the Lord for my people and my health. Lost a lot, but I came out with no else. Thank the Lord for my people and my health. And I'm fine as hell from my head down to my nails. My man tripping cause I got another cell. He still buy me YSL. I could get it by myself. These I could get it by myself. I could get it by myself. These I could get it by myself. I'ma get it by myself. Yeah. Feel like Ginger from Casino. Aces up my sleeve though. Right before I leave, I said like I'm Dino. Think I'm part Italian, blame that on Gino. Smells like the medallion, the skin on cappuccino. I don't kiss and tell, keep your distance from myself. Fettuccine with the snails in a 5-star hotel, and I wish she well when they wish for me to fail. I might donate, pay their bills. They can't get it by themselves.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call.
Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay, all my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay, so when I die, I ain't gon' be from old age. Somebody gon' want revenge, somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros, left pocket got pound. Somebody gon' want revenge, somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. Step back, let me get some room. Congrats every time I'm through. Same packet, nobody knew, so I never get confused. Hotel get a bird's eye view. Hotel got a waiting room. Read a magazine while you wait for me, baby. I'll be done so soon. Phone gotta be off. Each store got locks. I got some trusted shoes. 10K on the countertop. Don't look so shocked. It's nothing new. Death comes in threes. Wins come in twos. Cash comes in ones. Throw it up, celebrate some news. I do a good job. Pull up and pop out and pull out. Head on and hood on. Pedal to metal. When I put my foot on, I got to put on. I got a bad one. They want to keep me. Oh, that's a good one. Pockets are dense. I think my bread is hard as a crouton. Receipts in my pocket don't come with a coupon. Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay, all my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay, so when I die, I ain't gon' be from old age.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Dalvin Cook, third-year back from Florida State. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Cousins. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8.
Begin. Check.
Now Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Agnew now to return. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Lions will take over.
First and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford. And he's going to take a shot right up. And that's caught inside the 30. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21.
Well, we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it.
Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Daniil Hunter in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Throwing on 2nd and long. Stafford. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Oh, boy, partner, did that just happen? I've got my hand over my eyes right now because, like him, it's going to haunt my dreams, too. He was wide open. How did he overthrow him there?
Defensively, just very lucky. You know that they got away with one there. Stafford, he's going to take a shot for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how the defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. On 2nd down, Cook. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
The ball carrier. He's tackled at the 29-yard line. It's a gain of 4. Brings up 3rd and 6.
To Hunt, 180. Hey, 382, lay 50.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And that's knocked away and incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
On the return, here's Agnew. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10.
Hey, Charlie! You're not ready.
Now a first down throw. Stafford nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Stay 50, stay 50. Hey, let go.
Throwing to Stafford. And he'll lay out and pull it in. What a diving catch there. 23 yards the pickup there.
Hey, 54.
On first down at Stafford. And he'll find Hall. That one goes for 30 yards. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here's Stafford. He's going to go up top for the end. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Marvin Hall with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Prater for the extra point. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
To throw again on 2nd down. Cousins. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Johnson the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
I know the initial focus was on how far that pass was downfield, but how about the coverage on the play? Able to stay with him, get his hands where the receiver's hands were going to try and catch the ball, tips it up in the air, and knocks it away.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up 1st downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they have little chance of winning this one.
And we'll see what he can do on the return. Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. On 1st down, Stafford here. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
10. Hey, orbit. 54. Mike, 54. Watch the screen.
Back to the air. Stafford on second down. He almost had it. The big D lineman nearly had an interception. Instead, it falls down incomplete. Now, keep in mind, they did have 3 interceptions last week. Couldn't quite come up with a first quarter pick that time.
But they had to like what they saw in terms of reacting when the ball is thrown. We had an expression when I played. It was called break on it. Every time the quarterback puts the ball in the air, break on the football. Go make the play and accumulate those interceptions.
Former defensive back. You remember those 3 interception games. It can be contagious, give you a little momentum.
They really can, and it doesn't matter whether it's one person or if you spread them across your entire defense, everybody wants a piece of that pie.
This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
Brandon, you're never quite sure what the side judge or the field judge is going to rule there. That was awfully close, but in the end, he says it passed over the 1-yard line, and that's where they're going to mark it out. I mean, you can see it right there, right? See him walking up the sideline? Told him to stop right there at the 1.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet.
And he's going to go down in the end zone. Cousins taken down for the safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity.
Accelerating, and off he goes. Touchdown, Detroit. Matthew Stafford, 2 touchdown passes in this first quarter. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Here's Madison, and a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports.
Second and 7 at the 17-yard line.
From the 17, Cousins. And he's got some space here. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown.
What you just saw there, first-round talent, Second year, even more success. A pick six for a touchdown.
A great play. And it's tough for these guys, you've told me before, to adjust in the secondary as a first-year guy. So that sophomore season is big for them.
They really start to expand the playbook for them even more. Sometimes they dumb it down a little bit to make them comfortable year one. By year two, they should have all the nuances, and now they've adjusted to the speed of NFL play as well.
Showed right there. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Back to it after the pick six. Cousin. That is caught. It's Tajay Sharp. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. They'll run with Madison. And he'll only get a yard, maybe two, up to the 46.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Let's go.
To throw, Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey Flowers in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Switch.
Here's Cousins. And that will be incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
40 got.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. He's going to air one out. Oh, wide open, complete. Touchdown, Detroit. Make that now 3 first-half touchdown passes for Matthew Stafford as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They'll try to get it on the ground with Madison. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance. I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game because you can. It's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
Puts it on the carpet. The little rubber pellets shoot up. Never a good sign for a returner on this field turf surface.
No, not at all. And a bunch of them go up when they're all trying to get to the football, don't they?
A good start to the drive here as that's caught out on the left side. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Danielle Hunter has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
He's got his man, T.J. Hawkinson. And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line. A big play there for Detroit. 42 yards. Stafford on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Danielle Hunter in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Hey, 50. Hey, Haywood. 54, right there. 54, Mike. Hey, watch the ball.
They'll fake it. Now Stafford. Got some real estate inside the 30. And down to the 29-yard line. They got to get to the 23 here on third.
22.
Now it's Stafford. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
I know ultimately that feels like a good defensive play, but I know it's really not. They had a chance to keep points off the board. Now they have a chance to kick a field goal by missing that shot.
Yeah, especially at this spot in the field. He's got to be upset he couldn't come up with that INT. So plenty of leg, but it's the accuracy there that lets him down.
Yeah, he hit it really well. I think this might have been good from 55, but you'll see it just conk off that upright, and they're denied a chance at 3 points.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Cousins. He'll find Olabisi Johnson, the rookie from Colorado State. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Play fake. Cousins. There goes a deep ball. End zone. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. Second and 10 from the 33-yard line.
Double tight, guys, double tight. 3 down.
On play action, Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. And this is caught. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. And that's going to leave them with just 1 timeout remaining still in the 3rd quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them. We'll be back. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to him.
And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now Stafford. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. 22 yards there, a first down. Stafford now 10 of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st and 10. The shotgun snap for Stafford. Throw left side complete. That's Hall. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 right at the 40. To throw is Stafford. Looking deep downfield. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Marvin Hall, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. Now Prater to add the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Deron Harmon right there on the coverage. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And he fields it cleanly. 12 yards on the return that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
At their own 37-yard
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
On 1st and 10, Stafford, he gets this one to Johnson. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. So 2nd in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Back to throw, Stafford. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Hall. 1st down Lions on a pickup of 13. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Out of the gun, Stafford. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board.
Right there. Hey, Delta. Right there.
2nd and 10, Stafford again. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Coverage there by the safety, Harrison Smith.
And that play was what every defense is wary of. The big strike attempted downfield, but they were in excellent position. They didn't get fooled, and while he didn't come up with the interception, was able to bat the ball down.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 29-yard line. Stafford now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
NFL quarterbacks work so hard on their mechanics, and they do so much repetition in practice, off-season, the whole deal. They expect it to be autopilot once the games start. That way it eliminates any type of pressure of the game, pressure of people in your face, all of that. That didn't shine through on that throw, though, did it?
No. A little bit of a dangerous pass and off target, too. Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play. On 3rd down, Stafford. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down. Now it's Matt Prater on for the Lion field goal try. From the left hash, this from 46. And this one is right down Broadway. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
Let's go. Let's do it.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's Will Harris, the rookie from Boston College, who picked it. He has just been alone for opposing offenses to account for now 8 interceptions on the year.
I love that number because I always think of center field. You know, when I hear 8, because that's the position you write in the scorecard in baseball. And what do good center fielders do? Take the ball in the alleys.
That's caught at the 25. Touchdown, Detroit. Matthew Stafford does it again. 5 touchdown passes as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
Well, this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. right after a turnover. You count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
The Vikings take over first down 10 at their own 17-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Cousins to throw it. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
Gun. 44-yard line.
Cousins now to throw on 1st down. That is caught. It's Tajay Sharp. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 17 yards, 1st down, Vikings. Cousins now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Trey Flowers has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. They go play action. Cousins. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. This one winding toward a conclusion. And how would you assess how the secondary has played?
Well, we just saw them take another shot downfield that was incomplete, correct?
Correct.
So my assessment is that if anyone's played really well in this game, it's been the secondary. That was the latest example.
Yeah, they've been solid. Really, the whole defense has been solid. Still pitching a shutout. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I we enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
It's a gain of 14 and a 1st down for Detroit. Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 1st down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. Throwing to Stafford. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Marvin Hall there to make the grab as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point good by Prater, and that will extend this big lead.
56, Vikings nothing.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Mannion with his first toss since coming in. Looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. Johnson was the intended receiver.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Here's Stafford. Galladay's got it, and the Lions have a touchdown.
Let's go touchdown, baby.
Kenny Galladay with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Lions use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Prater on to add the extra point. And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the 2nd extra point he's missed so far. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. That's fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They go back to the air here after the INT on their last drive. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan and especially the execution.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Recon, 132 fighter. Hey, high 7, shoot.
Throwing is Mannion. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Here's Mannion. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. They'll drop the throw. This is Johnson. He's got it. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. They're going to look to throw. And a catch made by Johnson. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. 23 yards, the final tally. Back to throw here. And the Lions Defense pressure too strong. Down he goes. Jarrett Davis. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
At the 14-yard line.
Hey, foxtrot, foxtrot.
Another try after the first down sack. Mannion. And he's into the clear. The 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions. Those free safeties, they get to sit back there if they've got good pass rushers like this team does. Read like a book. He read it like a book and took it in for 6.
And if they use their eyes well and their anticipation skills, they can make big plays, just as what we saw. A free safety's dream. Follow the football, go to it, and take it the other way.
Mike 54. Hey, Charlie.
After the interception, here's Stafford. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
The Vikings take over first and 10.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So the last one didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. He's going to let it fly. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Jamal Agnew. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that intercept. And this will be caught at the 30. 39 yards there, a big one. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Stafford will buy some time right. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. So another score there. And often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
So they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not a particularly good return here as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked by Tracy Walker. So they will set up shop. Excellent field position in the red zone at the 19-yard line.
Mike, blue 60. Mike 5-4. Hey, let's get some penetration. Zebra.
Throwing here, Stafford. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Sherrills. And the return will stop them well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line. Their passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
You think maybe there was an adjustment there. Finally gained a measure of, I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back.
And my goodness, another interception. It's Desmond Trufant, and he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown.
Oh, this is becoming tough to watch. I don't know that I've seen 3 pick sixes from the same quarterback in the same game.
And I know that many are going to scream at the coach about why did you let him stay out there to throw those. But truthfully, what are the odds that you're going to throw 3 pick sixes in a game? You want to leave them out there so they can work through some of the rough stuff.
Prater for the extra point. They are in the 4th in Buffalo, and the Ravens have opened it up a bit, leading by a couple of scores. If they can hold on, the win would be number 8 for them on the campaign. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now. And if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Hey, exit.
He'll look to throw. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
We ain't beginning to turn you up. Don't get nervous.
Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Try and get it all back with one big shot right there, but even if successful, that doesn't get them all the way back to where they need to be. Can't totally abandon throwing the ball underneath as well.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
Hey, Delta. Hit it.
They'll look to throw here. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Jamal Agnew. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
54. Right.
The first down carry here for Johnson. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. First down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. Stafford going to throw it. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Lions, the win pushes their record now to 11-2 on the year, and they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they're squarely in play for next year mode now as they drop to 2-11, and they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.